Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Please make it make sense. Teofimo Lopez now going for Terence Bud Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez? Did Teofimo Lopez forget this?
Ready? What's up? I've been ready. What's up? What you talking about? You know the
Shut up, bitch! Shut up, bitch!
Timeout. Teofimo Lopez is going for Terence Bud Crawford after Terence Bud Crawford verbally disrespected your sister and your teenage niece, and you going for Bud? Did my brother Teofimo Lopez forget about this? Now I get it. Eddie Reynoso didn't plan to train Teofimo Lopez leading up to the Barbosa fight because, as we all know, the time frame just wasn't in their favor. Because Teofimo Lopez is going to be fighting in New York City, Times Square, and Canelo Alvarez was going to be fighting in Reha season. So Eddie Reynoso was going to leave early, even if they would have had that camp together. I think the timing was not right. But at the end of the day, Teofimo Lopez did not like how Eddie Reynoso, gave him the message or didn't give him the message directly that he was not going to go into training camp with him. And that did hurt Teofimo Lopez, that he's discussed in interviews. Yeah. What that has to do by going against Canelo Alvarez, because you was going to be trained by Eddie Reynoso, not trained by Canelo Alvarez. Did you forget all the times that Canelo Alvarez actually looked out for you? Like,
Crawford needs to fight Teofimo.
You remember when a lot of people in the sport of boxing was against Teo calling out Bud Crawford? But he got Canelo Alvarez support. And matter of fact, he told the whole world that if Bud Crawford want to fight me, he got to go through Teofimo Lopez. Now, come on. Ain't nothing better than that cosign right there, right? And he was speaking directly to Bud and Turkey publicly so the whole world could see. And what about in the Ring Magazine ceremony when it was Canelo Alvarez, Turkey out shaking Ryan Garcia? Who said, you know what, man, come sit right here next to me, man, and sit on the table with me, with Turkey out shaking Ryan Garcia. And that was the first day that he met Turkey out shake. And what about when Canelo Alvarez shared his biggest moment, his biggest accomplishment, when he became undisputed in the super middleweight division, when he beat Caleb Plant, and he shared his moment with Teofimo Lopez? And he brought him up the stage, and for Teofimo Lopez to also show his belt. And while a lot of people in the boxing industry was trying to say, and fans as well, try to dispute his undisputed, he makes sure that you recognize Teofimo Lopez as undisputed. Did Teo forget about that one? Come on now. Has Canelo Alvarez ever disrespected Teofimo Lopez in public? Has Canelo Alvarez ever diminished any accomplishments or Teofimo Lopez as a fighter in public? Never. Every time we see Canelo Alvarez, and even when they ask him about young fighters or fighters like Teofimo Lopez, always praising Teofimo Lopez, always being there for Teofimo Lopez, always acknowledging Teofimo Lopez. So why is Teofimo Lopez turning his back and switching up and flip-flopping his prediction with Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, knowing that he's been saying this all along?
Crawford get knocked out. I'm gonna put 8.
Teofimo Lopez predicted that Canelo Alvarez is going to knock out Bud Crawford in 8. And he's been predicting that Canelo Alvarez is going to beat Terence Bud Crawford, that the weight is too much for Terence Bud Crawford leading up before the fallout with him and Eddie Reynoso. Then Teofimo Lopez said this: I'm going to go for Crawford. The Canelo team don't want Teofimo. It's not our fault. It's whatever the champ wants. It's all right. I don't want to be heavy, flat-footed, planet feet anyways. I'm a boxer. I'm pretty damn good boxer too. Damn, this don't sound good, folks. Because now people are going to question, what was the intentions of Teofimo Lopez actually working with Canelo Alvarez? Because if he felt that way about Canelo Alvarez and felt that he was not going to learn anything from Canelo Alvarez, was it to learn from Canelo Alvarez? Or was it photo ops? Was it clout? Was it to use the Canelo Alvarez fan base? Or is it that, Teofimo Lopez is just, hurt and felt that, you know what, man, I looked bad out there and y'all left me hanging when I thought that I was going to be part of the Canelo Alvarez team? We don't know. But the switch up just doesn't look good for Teofimo Lopez's character, not only as a fighter, but as a man. Because publicly, Canelo Alvarez, not even until this day, Eddie Reynoso have not said anything derogatory, anything foul about Teofimo Lopez. So what was the intentions? Is this a good look for Teo? Now he's going for Bud Crawford. Man, Bud Crawford disrespected your father and your sister and your niece. Man, I wouldn't be going for Bud Crawford. But damn, gotta get what's the priority? You gotta get a priority straight. Or maybe the beef that he had with Terence Bud Crawford, it was not really a beef. Maybe he doesn't care about the disrespect that Bud Crawford was talking about his father when he said that if you say that to me or touch me again, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. Calling your sister a bitch, calling your 14-year-old niece a bitch. And then you had guys like, I think it was I forgot what's his name, Sutton the Great, you know what I'm saying, laughing with Bud Crawford. And then Teofimo Lopez actually walks out with the same people that was laughing while Bud Crawford was verbally disrespecting the female of his family. Not a good look. The video speaks for itself. See, ladies and gentlemen, I speak was in the surface. I'm a Teo guy. I support Teofimo Lopez. But they things that, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to enable everything that you see and hear, you know. But I don't think it's a good look publicly. If he genuinely feels that Terence Bud Crawford is the better fighter, right? And that's his actual prediction, right? Then cool. It is what it is. There's trainers in the sport of boxing and fighters that believe that Terence Bud Crawford got a good chance. But before, Teofimo Lopez didn't believe that Terence Bud Crawford had a good chance. He was all about Team Canelo and praising Canelo. And also, let's not also forget that Teofimo Lopez also explained that when he went through his downfall after the George Camboso split decision loss and went to the hospital, Canelo Alvarez was the one that used to check up on him. Every day, every other day, Canelo Alvarez was there for Teofimo Lopez as a supporter, somebody to lean on, somebody to talk to. I think as a fighter, right, you try to be in the zone and you try to do whatever you got to do, right? I know that Canelo Alvarez probably ain't paying attention to his family and kids when he's training, just like Teofimo Lopez, just like every other fighter, because they got to lock in. It's not Canelo Alvarez's job to worry about Teofimo Lopez training with Eddie Reynoso because he's got to prepare for his fight himself. Whether Teofimo Lopez is going to be there or not, Canelo Alvarez got to lock in, and I think that Teofimo Lopez is the same way. He got to lock in. He got to push everything to the side. He can't let things distract him. You can't let Canelo Alvarez... Canelo Alvarez is not going to be distracted with the fallout with Eddie Reynoso and stuff like that. The plan was for Eddie Reynoso to help Teofimo Lopez Sr., and that's what Teofimo Lopez Sr. said as well, that he brought him to help because it was motivated for Eddie Reynoso, that Eddie Reynoso bring a motivation presence for Teo. But probably it was not about Eddie Reynoso. It was just about to be next. It's just to be next to Canelo Alvarez. So was it genuine? Or was it a photo op? Was it that, you know what, I may need a loyal fan base. I don't know. At the end of the day, it doesn't look good publicly. And sometimes, you know, people will have fallouts, you know, friends will have fallout because they may think, you know, something else and it's not what it is, and it only take a conversation to really clear things out. But just doesn't seem right that Teo going for Bud now. Or maybe this is just promotion, because in the end of the day, we never know. I don't believe a lot of these fighters hate each other or have beef with one another outside of the ring and stuff like that. You know, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We see the fallout of Teofimo Lopez and Rolly, and now they friends again, right? And they're not looking to fight each other anyway. But this don't look good in terms of character. But you know, I could be wrong. Well, I can't wait to see Teofimo Lopez get back in the ring. Hopefully he get a Richardson Hitchens fight, a unification bout in the 140-pound division. Canelo Alvarez, I think, is going to beat the crap out of Bud Crawford from pillar to post, especially if Bud Crawford going to commit to fight. And hopefully Teofimo Lopez and Canelo Alvarez could clear the air because they have history and they had a friendship. You know what I'm saying? I think that is just cool you know, for them to have that conversation and have that and clear the wave, you know, clear the air. Because I do think that Canelo Alvarez always respected Teofimo Lopez. We see it. He shared his moments with Teo. Let me know what y'all think.